So it was in the south of France in Perpignan. It was late at night and there was a big party. I ended up wanting to go back to the place I was staying. I was a little bit tired. And I told my friend, could you please go get the compact car? We'll come back. We'll go back home. We'll watch old TV. We'll hang out, relax. And I still remember I was outside. I probably went, 5 or 10 minutes away from the party. In the town, it was very circular. It was just like sort of like a maze. I look at my cell phone and I see that I had no reception. And I didn't know where I was. I was like in a dark alley and it was windy. There were those clotheslines that people that lived in that town, in that city, that had clothes, and you had the clothespin, and when it was the wind, it would bounce against the stone. And it was like a really wild experience, just the whipping of the wind going through the small alleys. There was no one around, and I didn't know what was happening. I was waiting for my friend to pick me up in the car. He said he was going to come and get it. I should have went with him, but I didn't. My cell phone wasn't working. And I kept walking around in circles, seeing where I could get the reception, and it wasn't working. I was probably out there for about a half an hour now, midnight now, and I didn't know where he went, my friend. And it was a very interesting experience. I just had to kind of take a deep breath and say to myself, yes, my friend's going to show up. I know that I'm in a safe area, and eventually he's going to come pick me up, and we're going to go back to our place and go to sleep. But I didn't know when that time was going to come. It was a scary situation. I mean, I kind of didn't know where I was relatively to the party. I knew I was about 10 minutes away. I was walking, and eventually my friend did come pick me up. And I said, why did it take you a half an hour to come pick up the car? He said that he got lost too because his reception went down as well. And I'm used to holding on my phone, going to the Google Maps and knowing exactly where I'm going, but that did not work. But it was kind of a really, interesting situation that I was never in before, but I adapted. I took a deep breath. I said to myself, eventually it's going to come and get cell reception again, regardless of how long it's going to take. And sometimes you're in that situation in life. Sometimes you have to take a pause and say, look, I'm not familiar with this area. I'm not familiar with the people. I'm not familiar with the, where you are. And you just sometimes have to wait it out, and eventually things happen and it all works out. So you have to change, you have to adapt, take a breath, and know that ultimately you are going to be okay.